What makes a team intriguing? Well, typically for me, it's the unpredictability of the situation. Maybe the talent's really good, but the program just has not been able to come through as of late because of poor coaching or a certain situation. But now things are coming together or appear to be, and they should probably be winning. But, man, that coach is on the hot seat. That is typically the scenario that leads me to say a team's intriguing. Is Rutgers intriguing? No, they suck, and they're going to suck this year, and they're going to go 1-11 or 2-10. Is Ohio State intriguing? Well, probably not, because the Buckeyes are the best team in the Big Ten, and they should most likely win the Big Ten and go 11-1. These teams, though, because of the situation that I'm going to outline, my 10 most intriguing teams for 2020, please like, comment, share the videos, and subscribe, but also leave in your comments your most intriguing teams. Or maybe there's a situation here where there's a character involved, and that leads me to team number 10, Mississippi State. Mike Leach is now in the SEC. What an interesting marriage of personalities, of tradition, of styles, of approaches. Mike Leach in the defensive-minded SEC. And I know things have changed to a certain extent with Alabama and the way they play offensive football now, and, of course, LSU last season. Yes, it's not the SEC of 2012. But Mike Leach in the SEC, and Mike Leach is an underdog in the SEC at Mississippi State. What is he going to do with the Mississippi State program that, keep in mind, was run very capably under Dan Mullen? Never could reach the top, of course, but certainly went from being a 4-5 win team previously to Dan Mullen's usual 8 or 9 wins. Mike Leach at Texas Tech won 67% of his games when other coaches before and after could barely reach 500. And his Texas Tech teams finished in the top 25 5 of the last 6 seasons. Think of Texas Tech right now finishing in the top 25. We're not expecting it and have not for quite some time since Mike Leach left. And then he goes to Washington State, where they were winning 2 or 3 games a year. And he came within a Washington win typically of going to the Rose Bowl and lifted that program to the one of the better teams in the Pac-12. 2 years ago, 11-2, the best record in the Pac-12, finished in the top 10 in the country. So he's odd, he's quirky, he says strange things, he'll say whatever he wants. Now he's in the tradition-rich SEC. How much can he elevate Mississippi State? Well, they're going to be fun to watch. He's going to say fun things, or interesting things, or controversial things, and his team's going to be fun to watch. Will they throw it 70-plus times as they did at Washington State in a number of seasons? At Mississippi State in the SEC? That's my team number 10, Mississippi State, with Mike Leach, of course. Number 9, USC. Utah should drop back a bit after winning back-to-back division championships. They have tied their wagon to Clay Helton when we all thought, hey, after 5-7 and just a minimal bounce back in 2019, USC is going to let go of Clay Helton, and they're going to go for broke, Urban Meyer or somebody else. The 2020 class in recruiting was awful, like 70th in the nation. They start, as they did in 2016, with a neutral date against Alabama. Yikes. USC's talented, but they're thin, and they appear frail under Clay Helton. What is he going to do after 5-7 and 8-5? 8-5? Yeah, 8-5 after the Bull loss to Iowa. My intriguing team number 9, USC. They should win the Pac-12 South and become just one step away from winning a Power 5 championship. Can they do it under Clay Helton? Well, of course they did in 2016 and 17. Intriguing team number 9 for me. At number 8 is Tennessee. Man, they turned it around awfully quick, didn't they? Jeremy Pruitt was feeling the heat after losing to Georgia State and then even losing to BYU. Then the turnaround, and they got a bowl win in convincing fashion in the fourth quarter, coming back from 13 down to win dramatically over Indiana by 1 point. We know Jeremy Pruitt can recruit. We know that Tennessee is maybe on the verge. Can they break free from that South Carolina, Kentucky, Vandy, Missouri pack? Or not Vandy. Vandy's at the bottom. Missouri, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, that pack to challenge Florida. Jeremy Pruitt in Tennessee at number 8. My number 7 team is UCLA. I'm always fascinated with UCLA at any point because the football history and tradition and success at UCLA does not match what I believe the potential to be in that area of the country, one of the top 3 recruiting states in terms of high school talent in California. Should be easy to recruit there. Huge university. Should have good facilities, but they've only had spotty, sketchy football success. Now they bring in the hotshot from Oregon. Of course, he had his NFL stint with the Eagles and 49ers, but at Oregon, Chip Kelly, of course, went 33-3 in the Pac-12, 46-7 overall, if I remember correctly. Now he's 7-17 at UCLA. 46-7, 7-17, and guess what? The recruiting classes that Chip Kelly has on the UCLA roster are awfully similar to the rankings at Oregon on those rosters. But the recruiting's been down the past year and a half or so for UCLA. Chip Kelly, can he turn it around? This is year 3, 3-9, 4-8. At UCLA. My team number 6 is Florida State. Willie Taggart was a nightmare hire. I don't really get it because I hate to bash on Willie Taggart. I really do. Some people think I love it. I don't. He did well at Western Kentucky. He did well at South Florida. He had the neutral year at Oregon. He went 7-5. He had a 7-5 kind of talent. Then he comes to Florida State, and they're just atrocious. They're unprepared. They're undisciplined. They're outcoached every week. Again, it was just incredibly poor in 2018 and not much better in 2019. He gets axed. Maybe he should have been given a little bit more time, but it wasn't like it wasn't deserved. Well, that nightmare's over for Florida State. You got Mike Norvell, and you've got a out-of-conference schedule that includes West Virginia, a trip to Boise State, and Florida. Very difficult. Life in the ACC is not that difficult, but of course, can they win a championship in the ACC right away? No, they got Clemson in the way. They're not in the Pac-12 South with Utah and USC, or in the Big Ten Western Division, or the ACC Coastal, of course. If Florida State was in the ACC Coastal, then we could think maybe Norvell takes them to the conference championship game this year. But, of course, Clemson's in the way. But can he go 8-4 and get this thing rolling, get it started? Team number 6 on my list of intriguing teams for 2020 is Florida State. And number 5 is LSU. Why are they intriguing? Well, they've got NFL talent all over the place. We expect them to win, but this has been a 3 or 4 loss team despite all that talent every year since going to the BCS championship game in 2011. Then, boom, Orgeron, enter Joe Brady, enter Joe Burrow for a second season and a new offense, and bam, they explode, and they're the dominant team in college football. Are they a one-hit wonder? We know because of the talent they'll be good, 10-2, 9-3 good, as they have been in the past. But with no Burrow, no Brady, is Ed Orgeron here to stay? Team number 5, LSU. Team number 4, very similar in brand, big-time program, prestige tradition, Texas. Tom Herman, enter him, and they are remarkably or decidedly better that first season. Then, of course, they take off and win the Sugar Bowl the next year and win 10 games. Almost win the Big 12 championship, and then they drop off in 2019. Sam Ehlinger's back. They've had top 5 recruiting classes stacked on each other. Texas should be better. Not a 5-loss program, not a 5-loss team in 2020. Texas, my 4th most intriguing team. At number 3, maybe the head coach just makes it. Maybe just automatically because of the head coach, they're like 5 spots higher. P.J. Fleck in Minnesota. He's got his quarterback back in Tanner Morgan, who's not an ultra-talented guy, but he just played so well. One of the best touchdown to interception ratios this past season. Most wins for the Golden Gophers in 2019, going back to 1907. PJ Fleck, man, it's going to be difficult to surpass what they did in going 11-2, beating an SEC power in Auburn, beating Penn State. But I don't know. New facilities. PJ Fleck believes Minnesota's number 3 on my list of most intriguing for 2020. At number 2, man, the Coastal Division's right there for the taking. It's just right there. A different team wins every year, and that different team this past season was Virginia, of course, to make it 7 different champions in 7 years. So somebody's got to repeat and win a second time. North Carolina, man, what a fun 2019 season. Freshman quarterback throws 38 touchdowns. They play all one-score games against the Power 5 opponents and even the likes of Appalachian State, of course. Play that 6 overtime game against Virginia Tech, throwing the ball all over the place, scoring points, playing dramatic games to the wire. And with Mac Brown in play, of course, he brings instant credibility and attention to North Carolina football after winning 5 games under Larry Fedora in their final 2 seasons. Now it becomes less about, man, this is fun, we can play free and easy, to this might be the team that many prognosticators picked to win the ACC Coastal Division. So the pressure's on this year. They've got their top 3 receivers back, Newsome, Corrales, and Brown. They've got their 2 top running backs back. And, of course, Sam Howell, and most of their productivity in spots on defense. 2 very interesting, very entertaining matchups in the non-conference slate. North Carolina taking on Auburn and UCF. Of course, that will have nothing to do with the Coastal Division, but just to see the measuring stick and fun games to watch. North Carolina is my number 2 most intriguing team of 2020. And at number 1, they suckered me in last year. I don't know how this happened, man. This still annoys me. All off season, I thought the Big Ten Western Division is between Wisconsin and Iowa. Those are the 2 teams I need to decide upon. They're the 2 most solid teams. It's not even close. They've got the front sevens on defense, the whole deal. They are the 2 most solid teams. They are legit top 15 teams. Nobody else is going to win this division. I don't believe in Nebraska. People are hyping Frost and Martinez for the Heisman, and yeah, they're getting better, and I expect it to come at some point, but not in 2019. Then something hit me. Something hit me in the head when I made my predictions, and I pulled the trigger on Nebraska winning the West. And, of course, they went 5-7, which means they went, 3-6 in the conference. Yeah, not good. But here we go again. Scott Frost, Season 3. They did play better down the stretch. They've got Adrian Martinez back at quarterback and a slew of explosive players on offense. They have the potential to score big time on offense, and the defense has to get better. It's taking baby steps. Do they challenge Wisconsin and Iowa? They're supposed to, and Minnesota for the Big Ten Western Division. So it's an improving program, but not as decidedly as we expected. And they're in a better division than what this division looked like. Even Illinois is better. They only beat them 42-38. A better division than Scott Frost took on when he switched jobs in 2017. Nebraska's the most intriguing team for me in 2020. Need to hear from you now. And if you love college football and you're not subscribed, basically you miss having the opportunity to just help us build the channel. Subscribers mean something. They mean a lot, and we need you to subscribe. Number 2, basically, we have live streams. We've got live streams that we send your way all the time. And I am in the process of trying to determine a live stream schedule for the off season. We're getting there. But so we're throwing live streams out there all the time, and we hear people all the time say, I missed the live stream. And it's my apologies because we don't have a set schedule right now. But one way you can correct that and counter that is to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for the notifications, and we notify you when the live streams are coming right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. And don't forget, your 10 most intriguing teams, or maybe one or two that you're watching for 2020.